All right, let me share with you a couple of things you can do in Silhouette Studio. A lot of similar things that you can do in Cricut Design Space. So I just went into the library here and opened up this little baby stroller. One thing that you want to make sure you always do in Silhouette Studio is group everything. Because like for instance, most things are going to come ungrouped. So like these little dots here, you just want to make sure everything is always grouped. That's one of the things that I really learned. So you just highlight it all, right click, and then just say group. So we're just going to kind of do the same thing we did in the last video, which was kind of a knockout slice design. So you can see here that all of my letters, they're not welded together, they overlap, just like in Cricut Design Space. That means if I put this on my stroller, went to cut this out, it would actually cut out each of these letters separately. Okay, so I'm a big believer in making sure I weld things or at least group things, just to make sure everything works together. On this particular one, if we want to do, I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. If we want to do a curved text, there's this little arrow here. We can actually take this up to our design here, and we can curve our text around it however we want, which is kind of a fun way to use it. So that's a little bit of a different thing than what we were doing in Design Space, but you can curve your text. So I would go ahead, excuse me, I have the yawns today. I'm just gonna weld this and group it. We're gonna take it over here, and then we're going to come over to our modify and just subtract. And that's gonna take that Alice out of the middle. Now, if you see, and I move this around, you're gonna see it's not all grouped together. So once again, make sure you group it so that it'll all stay together. Okay, the other thing that is nice about Cricut Design Space that Silhouette doesn't have is it doesn't show you layers. So if I were to open, let's say these arrows, in Cricut Design Space, I'm going to see these arrows. Sorry, I'm just going to make this smaller. I'm going to see these arrows over here as layers, so they'd be cutting out differently. You're not going to see that with Silhouette Studio. So when you actually send it to your machine, you aren't going to be aware of what layers there are unless that you are very aware and you keep track. So that's just one thing that is a benefit of Design Space that you don't have with Silhouette Studio. The other thing that is really nice though with Silhouette Studio is you can upload and open really any image that you have on your computer. You can go in, I don't know that I have anything super excited in here. I've got some different fonts, but these are fonts that I've uploaded. You can take, anything and put it in Silhouette Design Space, or Silhouette Studio, excuse me. In Cricut Design Space, you can upload things, but you just don't have as much creative license. So that's kind of the difference, at least a major difference for me between the two. Do I prefer one over the other? Not necessarily. I can work with both of them. It kind of just depends on what I'm working on.